Hi, my name is Anton. I'd like to tell you about badpractice.info. It's a wonderful website that gives me the opportunity to tell my story about what happened to me and 4 other doctors at my old doctor's surgery, which is Ringmead Medical Practice, Birch Hill. Now, the reason this website has been created is because I created the first one to try and tell my story about what happened to me at my old doctor's surgery. And my old doctor's surgery closed the website down. It was only a free website, so it didn't really matter. And, free websites are very, very, very easy to take down. Because you just make a very, very simple complaint and it just gets closed, But somebody else has come along. Well, in fact, there's about 30 other people involved in my story because of the sheer anger that's been going on about it. So another bad practice website has been reopened by somebody else who is anonymous, of course, and they have put my story back up there about what happened to me. So I do have the opportunity again to show my story again, and this is why I'm doing videos as well, because I want people to sort of get an idea of who I am as a character and what's been going on. And I guess it's just to basically show that it's not a hate campaign, and it's not a campaign as such where somebody is trying to defame reputations. It's just me, little old me, trying to tell my story about what happened to me at my old doctor's surgery. And it's quite important, I believe, this, because there's a lot of mistakes and problems being caused and all sorts of troubles going on from bad doctors, which is why I called it bad practice, because it seemed pretty fitting. Now, I'm normally a very funny, happy character. I don't mean no harm to people and stuff, but once this happened to me, it changed everything. It changed my mind on things. In fact, it woke me up a little bit. Doctors, they sign and go by this oath, Hippocratic oath, I think it's called. And they take an oath when they get qualified as a doctor to always look after the patient, not kill them, of course, and or harm them or abuse them or whatever, sexual abuse, or all the bad things that you're not allowed to do. Which of course is a good thing, but I can say many, many times where doctors have broken their oath to me. Many times. It's something that I believe is forgotten. And of course, because the public don't know a lot about this sort of stuff, and they don't want to know about this sort of stuff, doctors get away with literally murder. And very, very powerful. Once you get your qualifications as a doctor and you become a well-known doctor, for instance, like Dr. Cassianos at the Birch Hill surgery, he's been my doctor all my life. And of course, he's done his little radio shows and, had his picture in the paper, and he's been doing all this work. And I mean, he's done very, very well for himself. And he's a very rich man, There's a lot of money to be made in being a doctor. But everybody I've spoken to about him says the same thing. And of course I do too. He's a very arrogant, rude, cheeky, condescending man. I can't believe it, really. I still will never believe what happened. I've been a lifelong member to my old doctor's surgery, very loyal, very respectable, always smiling and happy and being my normal self. But I get abused physically and mentally by my doctors. And when I try to complain about it, they actually kick me out. The whole story of what happened to me is on badpractice.info. I think the point is about the treatment I got, and basically the way they're trying to get away with it, shutting me down, using solicitors and threats. I haven't gone to the Bracknell News yet, or the newspapers at all, but that, has crossed my mind. Because the Birch surgery has been trying to shut me down, it's very obvious at this point that they've done things wrong. Everybody I've spoken to about these doctors that I've had issues with have said the same stuff, But anyway, again, it's not about reputation defaming, destroying somebody's reputation. It's about telling the truth. And it's about freedom of speech. And the fight will always go on because it's something that people need to learn about. I think education is the key. The doctor is there to work for you. The doctor does what you say. These are patient rights and the doctor's oath and all these things that they profess to do, such as the NHS. And then when it actually comes down to practice, they don't actually do it, or they do half of it, or they don't actually care, and it's all a big way of getting money, I guess, and a lot of people suffer. I mean, because of the wonders of the internet now, we have that opportunity to speak freely at last. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've always been very respectful of doctors, and they do great things, do great work. And of course, Dr. Cassianos has as well, and probably the other doctors that I'm made complaints about. It's not all bad. It's just that this God complex that they have, this attitude problem, the power goes to their head. And instead of being a good family, honest doctor, they become devious, talk behind your back in meetings and do all sorts of bad things. And of course, be rude to you. A doctor has no right to be rude to anybody. Or even break the rules. It's just that because the public aren't educated on these really important facts about doctor surgeries and the NHS and all this stuff, that they, these people actually die because of it. There's people dying out there because of massive mistakes. I think it should be a lot stricter, and the doctor has to realise that he's not God, or he's not an all-powerful, mighty king above you when you sit in front of him, and telling him your personal details. The receptionists have to have a certain qualification to even look at your records, for God's sake. Anyway, all of these discussions are on badpractice.info. When you get to the badpractice.info webpage, the first time round you'll be confronted by a terms and conditions page. Now read that, scroll down to the bottom and tick the box, and then press agree and enter. And then you can go and read my story and perhaps even post yours. And I think we could all learn from something here and get some stuff in the open. Don't be afraid. I think this is the thing. Do not be afraid of your doctor. And I say that because I used to be. And I used to get walked on left, right and centre most of my life. And you'll find that, you know, you'll find respectable people in society will be walked over like that, because if you're a good guy, if you're a good person, you're going to get walked all over, because you'll be too polite and too respectable to start, you know, kicking ass or fighting back, or, you know, having what's rightfully yours. These people, the NHS, are there, you know, as a service. They are serving you, and they need to remember this. Doctors can pretty much get away with anything, and if you complain about it, your complaint is ignored, literally. What they do is they do the classic, oh, we'll learn from this. No, they don't. They just carry on, because they can get away with murder. So I think it's something that needs to be discussed in a most serious way, but also, you know, try and be sensible about talking about it, tell the truth, and get things done. And, you know, if you're a bad doctor, then you should be shitting yourself around about now. But if you're a good doctor, you have nothing to worry about. I know many good doctors that would have nothing to fear from any of my websites or videos or whatever. But of the 4 doctors that have abused me physically and mentally in the past, they're going to look at this and, you know, think, oh shit, that's me. And, you know, their names will be brought up as a great example for a start, and also, you know, within the story of mine to tell you guys. But I believe this is important. I believe people should be educated and, you know, learn about their patient rights, learn a bit more about what to expect from the doctor and how to be treated, and all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't normally know. You know, the NHS is great. I've always liked the NHS. I think they're wonderful. It's the bad eggs that need to be fixed, and it's the bad people that need to be told off and put in their place, because they'll just carry on, and they'll get paid a lot of money for it, and a lot of people will die and suffer.